By far, the number one skill I've found for getting what I want in life and moving ahead is being comfortable with other people's emotions, and specifically negative emotions. There are instances daily where the people we love, the people around us, the people we work with, they're experiencing something that we're not necessarily experiencing, or our interpretation of the situation isn't nearly as bad as what they are. So for them, it's within this area of something has to change. This can't go on. And for me, and for us, it can be, what's the big deal? It's not really a big deal. And being able to distinguish other people having a problem for us having a problem, that has been night and day in terms of clarity between situations I should get involved in and situations that I can just allow and support that person that I care about to figure something out on their own. And the reason this has been such a big unlock is because when we stop putting our time, our energy, our resources into situations that we don't particularly care about, one, we're being more honest and true to ourselves. We're also being more honest and true to the people we care about. We're communicating with them at some level what our values are, and that if something's a value to them, we support them with their values, but we have limited time and energy that we need to put into our goals and what we want to accomplish. And so what this does is it empowers everybody around you, including yourself, to focus on the things that you care about, that matter to you, and also empower someone else to focus on what they care about, what matters to them, knowing that you support them in what they want, but not in a way where you're going to sacrifice your own time, your own energy, your own mental space. Now, many times the best way to understand this is with an example. So let's take a really simple example, right? You're at Starbucks, you're going to get a coffee with your significant other, business partner, and they order a hot double espresso loaded with caffeine, and you order a coffee with ice, an iced coffee, so it's cool, right? These are totally different drinks. And I know this is a silly example, but it's going to make it clear. Let's say this drink is so hot, your coworker or your spouse, they actually burn their lip and they're, damn it. They're pissed, right? Because they did something silly. They're mad at themselves, but they're also blaming the person for, the barista for making it too hot, right? And here you are with your nice, cool drink and, you're calm, you're enjoying it. This person's having a totally different experience than what you're having, right? Now, does it make sense for you to go, my lip too, and then you start getting upset and burned and you're like, God damn it. Does that make sense? No, of course not. No one, none of us would be like, well, that's their mouth, their drink, their mistake. I empathize. I'm sorry that happened. I've certainly burned my mouth. I know it sucks. But you wouldn't start getting involved and feeling it that way. You'd kind of separate yourself, understand that they're having a problem, keep enjoying yours, see if you can help, but there's a clear distinction between who's having the bad experience and who's having a good experience, right? Now, how does understanding someone else having a problem versus us having a problem and having that kind of invisible distinction, how does that help us get what we want out of life? Now, for me, it's really helped because, as I was mentioning earlier, I have more energy, more mental space to focus on the things that really matter, and especially time, because I'm now not focused on problems that don't really involve me or that I don't want to be involved in. And a lot of times when we do involve ourselves in problems that we don't want to be involved with, there's a level of resentment, there's a level of frustration, because we know we're kind of pulled in two different directions. So by not going down that path, we have more alignment with who we are and more energy to focus on what we want to work on, right? And so how this improves your personal communications is when you have that distinction between me versus somebody else, we're two individuals, care about each other, maybe have overlapping values, but we're also distinct and we're different. We make different choices. This allows you to then communicate at a way that's more level-headed, in a more logical way. How can I help this person improve their situation in a way that also meets my values and meets my needs, right? As opposed to thinking we're this one person, we've somehow morphed together. I have to feel what they feel, otherwise they won't respect me and think we have a relationship. We have to be this kind of co-bonded thing. That's going to create a lot of problems, because if it's not really your problem, you're going to take on responsibility that's not really yours. Therefore, the solution probably won't be as great. And you're probably thinking that this is obvious, right? However, understanding something intellectually is different than understanding something emotionally. Intellectually, it's easy. Yes, of course, we're two different people. We have different values, different ideas. But emotionally, when someone's frustrated, upset, it's important to just take a step back and say, they're frustrated, they're upset, and that's okay. I'm also okay for not getting involved in it on an emotional level. I can be level-headed. I can be logical. If someone's getting upset that you're not getting emotionally involved in it, they want a teammate to be pissed off with them. You can just reflect back to them like it looks like you're really upset. You're having a bad day. Things are not going the way you want, right? And just reflecting back to someone what they're experiencing lets them feel heard, lets them feel understood, but it also creates that healthy separation of you're you and I'm me, and we have different experiences, and that's okay. I'm still with you. You're still with me. We can make a better day out of this. But the number one thing that people want a lot of times is just to feel heard and understood. They want to feel seen, because it's so often that people in life, they are discounted. I've certainly felt that way. I have an opinion and people go, nah, what is that? That's a discount. That's saying you're wrong. Well, we know we're not completely wrong all the time, right? There's a lot of times we see things that other people don't see. And so give that gift, if you will, give that opportunity to somebody else where you let them feel seen, let them feel heard when they're having a bad time. And being comfortable with that. Because a lot of times people will reflect that back to you. They'll be okay with you being frustrated when they're not. And that just creates a better situation for everybody. When people are level-headed, they can come up with better solutions together. So let me know if you've ever had this experience where someone was super frustrated, super upset, and you were able to stay calm, cool, collected, appreciate kind of where they were at, that they were going through something, and then just be there for them without trying to be emotional with them or pretend you have the hot coffee when really you got the iced coffee and you're enjoying yourself. So yeah, hope that helps.